Hi, my name is Carlos Trujillo, and I'm a professional off-road racer from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and CEO of Instrumental LLC. I own a 1450 Pro truck, and I race in the Pro UTV class as well. I've been on TV many times, multiple interviews highlighting my talents. I've raced in the 2018 and 2019 World Championship, finishing as high as 8th in my class. I've been able to work with great partners along the way, and I'm truly blessed when it comes to off-road racing. If you want to know the steps it takes to be a professional off-road racer, this is what it takes. Welcome to Racing Secrets. I'm your host, Carlos Trujillo, and today we're going to be talking about safety. As a whole, it takes a little bit of everything when it comes to being safe. It's not one thing that makes you safe, it's a mentality that makes you safe. So, from past experience for me, from knowledge, I've been around unsafe and I've been around safe. I've been all the way from the amateurs all the way to the pros, and it's nothing to fool around with. It's definitely nothing to play with. I've been told a lot of the time, how much is your life worth to you? And your life is worth a lot, and you gotta take it seriously, especially when it comes to safety. So, what does it take to build a safe car? That's what they say. From the frame up, you're gonna build it. You gotta make sure that everything's good on it, that there's no cracks. If you're building it on your own, if it's not already pre-built, the geometry has to be right for impact. You gotta have, the right angles. You gotta have everything you need. If you fall over, if you tip and you have a fast impact and you start flipping a lot of times, your whole inside could be completely pancaked. Everything that's inside of the car gets smashed to pieces, and you don't want to be inside of that. You definitely do not. You need quality mechanical work. You need quality electrical work. You don't want to have gas leaking. You don't want to have open exposed wires. You want reliability. That's safe as well too. You can't have slapped together amateurs that you don't want to just somebody. Hey, bro, I got a welder. Let's build a race car. That's not the way it works. It's dangerous. It's something that could end very, very badly. And you have a lot of friends that you don't want to hurt their feelings, but they don't know what they're doing. And to get out to a racetrack, the professionals, you have to be able to pass tech inspection. There's guidelines that they won't let you on the track. You're unsafe and you're a liability to them, and so they're not going to even let you pass. Even if you've already registered and put all your money in and all that stuff, you're going to get out there and they're going to say, nope, get out of here. And that's more than even just the vehicle itself. That goes into your equipment as well. But the you can't have a stock vehicle. You can't have a regular roll cage and think you're going to go out there and race in the pros. There's some leagues that will let you, but it's really, really dangerous, and it's not professional. It's an amateur league. So there's just things you got to be aware of. That's what you can really spot the pros and the amateurs by how safe they are. That's just the way it is. You'll die. you can't. And if you have a used car, if you buy a used car, say it's already been raced, you need somebody professional to go through it. You need someone to make sure that there's not something big that's going to fail, or a big time crack in the frame, or it could be completely out of whack. It could be bent really, really badly, and you're in for a lot of broken parts. You breaking your parts, but broken parts on the car as well, what's your life worth to you? Go through it. Take the time to do it. Your legs, to be able to use them, you don't want to have brain injuries. You don't want to, let your family, have to suffer the burden of, taking care of you. And, there's more to life. There's more to life than racing, even though for racers and for someone like me, racing is life. And, you still want to be able to be happy at the end of the day. And, if you go out and you're doing what you love to do, then you want to be safe about it. You want to go home to your family. You want to be able to, pass on a legacy of finishing the races and coming home. And that's important. Safety is really, really important, guys. You can't overlook this kind of stuff. But anyway, getting more into it, with not just your car but your equipment, you got to have the proper fire suit. You can't have a single layer. You have to have multiple layers. Single layer will just cook you like a baked potato. You'll get roasted from the inside out. It'll stop it for a second, but you're still feeling the temperature. You need a Hans device. The very first race that I raced in was the rules when they implemented a head and neck restraint. You couldn't just have a donut ring. And there's people out there with amateur leagues that they race with no neck restraint. It's very easy to break your neck. It's very easy to get, the worst whiplash possible. You get like a shaken baby syndrome. You get concussions from that kind of stuff. And the faster you go, the more you actually, it helps you. You can drive faster with the right safety equipment. Your neck stays in place. You're not getting a bobblehead when you're hitting 100, whoops in a rhythm section in a row. You feel more stable and more in place, and the car is just doing its job, and you're doing its job in the car. That's something I've learned personally. I used to not have a head and neck restraint. Now I would wish I had had it the whole time. It makes all the difference in the world. There's the harnesses. You got to make sure that these things are on right. This I just have them, hanging here for show. But if you're not buckled in right, if these things are, kind of over here, if your waist belt isn't really that tight, you're gonna get held in by your waist. That's gonna hold you in the car. But these things, they're gonna stop you from your arm popping out and your head popping out, and you can get decapitated, get your arm taken off or something like that. You want to keep your body inside of the vehicle if you're wrecking. People that hold their hand out here, people that try to put their hand out or something like that, bye-bye arm, bye-bye functions of your hand. It's awful. And it's things that, you need to talk about, and you need to know. And if the people around you know that, then you're okay. But if you're around people that don't, if they're inexperienced, tell them that. Make it, right up front. If it's their first time riding in a car, tell them the rules. Tell them that, it's important, that safety is that important. And we're doing something that you got to respect, and that's why I don't like drinking beer. I don't like the whole vibe of sending it, where people go out and party and drink beer, and, they don't respect their machines, and they don't really appreciate what these things do. If you have to be intoxicated to enjoy one of these things, then something's wrong with you, because these things are a blast. This is some of the most fun you can have on this planet. You're getting to travel over amazing obstacles at a high rate of speed. The technology is amazing nowadays, and you can't be careless. You can't. These things are vast. Most of the time, this technology of this kind of stuff, it's too fast for most amateur drivers. If they're going to go out there with zero experience and then get drunk and then get in one of these things, it's the same thing as getting in a crotch rocket and not knowing your skill level and being drunk. You're probably going to get hurt or hurt your passenger, or something can happen. And you gotta take it seriously. You gotta respect the machines. With the good equipment, with the proper training, you become smoother, you become faster. You just all around, you're more one with the car. You're more one with the terrain. You're more one with what's going on around you, because you're not worried about that safety stuff. And I used to not worry about the safety stuff. I used to go out in four-wheel hard in stock vehicles, and even in this car, when I first got it, I was lucky because I was out there pushing it, breaking this thing in, and I started to, do my research, and I started to realize, that these things, you got to be careful. You got to be really careful. And so anyway, moving on from all that, your brakes, your suspension, having it adjusted properly. If you're going to go race speed, it's a lot different than just trail riding. It's a lot different than breaking it in and when you first start with these vehicles. So going race speed, especially at the pro level, having your brakes and suspension is everything. Your horsepower really doesn't matter if you can't stop properly. If you can't turn on a dime and not flip the vehicle. It doesn't matter how fast or how much horsepower you can go. You have to be able to handle it, and you have to be able to push the car, and that has everything to do with, properly setting up the way the car feels. And that has, a lot to do with your preps and your testing. And, if you have a good team that can really put your car together, or if you're good and you can go out and test it and do all that, the more prepping, the better. You prep for safety. You're prepping for your life, and your life is on the line, due to your preparation of your safety. And, pros aren't careless. That's what professional racers do. They prep, they prep, they prep, they prep. You got to be safer and safer and safer. You want to go out there and race a full season, and next season, and the season after that. You don't want to be careless and, have injury or something like that happen to you because you could have prepped it. And it boils down to, you're checking everything. You're checking all your equipment. You're checking everything that you can do. It has, your spotters, your radio contact, your, just being able to talk to each other properly and get your point across, and, just you and your co-pilot talking and having really good communication is safer. That is huge. You guys train for that. You guys are in the same boat, the same mentality when it comes to safety, and everyone's life is on the line. If someone's under your car working on it, and you're in the middle of, sitting in the pits, and someone doesn't properly communicate, you don't want to run over one of your friends. Or if you're jumping underneath one of those cars to help them, you don't want to get ran over. And you gotta be really, really, take it seriously. if you don't, then I don't even want to talk about that, because that's, you gotta utilize your resources for the safety. If there's something you can learn, if there's something around you that can be taught, if there's other people around you that can learn and be taught, you have to utilize it. If you have any kind of resource that you can use for safety, it always makes it better. It always makes it that much more safe. Makes the sport progress that much better too. And you can see it. You can see it in the progression of the professionals. You can see it in the progression of the amateurs. If you want to pretend to be a professional, don't be safe. If you want to be a professional, be safe, and people will see you, and you'll keep racing, and you'll have a racing career. So anyway, that's just about it. I want you guys to know that it's really important. I've seen people get really hurt. I've known people out there. I've seen people, during my races that had been hella back off, multiple times. And, you got to take it seriously. You have to, because this is a for real sport that, you're not out here just playing around, playing patty cake. We're pushing it, and we're doing some of the most extreme stuff in the world right here. And, this is what it's all about. Hit the like, the share, the subscribe, the notifications. If you can, this is cool stuff. We're going to keep getting more and more in depth. I want you guys to know, about what it takes and where we got to go. And, safety, it makes you faster. You race with confidence. Your car is prepped and you know that it's good. Your frame, you're not out there in something stocked. You know that you're right. You got your proper gear. And just remember that pros aren't careless, guys. Remember that. You know, if you want to be successful and you want to do what you got to do in off-road racing, this is what it takes.
My style. My style. My style. My style. My style.
Make sure to check us out on Instagram under #InstrumentalLLC. If your company needs any testing or feedback for your product or advertising, contact Instrumental LLC. And thank you for your time for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed.